So a couple of weeks ago, I did a video from the health club I work at here in my hometown called "The Scoreboard Matters Too." And in it, I talked about the concept that, I am oftentimes talking about what true success is and how true success, is not something that you measure with external outside forces nearly as much as measuring it from within you. Did you do all that you're capable of doing to become all that you're capable of becoming? To paraphrase John Wooden's definition of success, which I really think is about as good as it gets. And yet in that video, I said, but the scoreboard does matter. We have the scoreboard there for a reason, and it is a measure of success. And so, I want to make sure that people understand I'm not only about, well, if I gave everything I had and I give it, that's the only measure of success. No, there are other measures. But to me, the scoreboard is secondary to how well did we do, or how well did I do compared to my potential, okay? Well, today, I want to take that concept and talk about it a little more with a personal story. So yesterday, I got an email from my best friend in the world since I was a little kid. Those of you who listen to the Great Quotes for Coaches podcast, my good friend Bob Kuykendall, he's been a coach for 40 years, wrestling coach for 40 years. And he and I started coaching together on our coaching journeys in 1982. I had him on, I believe it was episode 46 of the podcast, to talk about a quote that he's used in his teaching and coaching career. Still the most downloaded episode. Tells you a whole lot about Bob as to the kind of influence and impact he's had on kids through the years. But he emailed me the other day. He found out about my surgery, my rehab now, my recuperation for my foot. So he emailed me to, see how I'm doing and that. And he alerted me to the fact that another good friend of mine who coaches with him still, we coached together for many years, Berg, at that school in the suburb of Chicago, Carmel High School, Carmel Catholic High School, had just guided his girls basketball team to the first state championship in the history of Carmel Catholic High School. All my years, Ben was on my staff when I was a head basketball coach there in the boys program, and Ben was really good young coach back in those days. I believe he was our sophomore coach, and maybe freshman, sophomore, maybe climbed his way up. Can't remember. Sorry, Ben. But anyway, very good friend of mine as well. And I had not heard that they had won the state championship. That's the first one in the history of the school, boys or girls, for basketball. And they've had a lot of good teams and a lot of good athletes throughout their years at that school. It's just one of those kind of schools, but never a state championship. And I'm so proud of Ben, so happy for him. Just knew with all that he had put into, his coaching through the years and the variety of sports that he coached, he was destined for success. But again, there's that word, success. Did I mean he was destined to win a state championship? No. I just knew Ben was going to help develop young people to become the best they're capable of becoming. And he would work with kids to help them do that while on a path toward trying to win championships. Whether it's a regional championship, sectional, super sectional, or state championship, that's certainly the goal, or one of the goals when it comes to, wins and losses and things like that. And so when Bob alerted me to the fact that Ben had won that, I thought, that is so cool. I'm so happy for him. I got to actually talk to their team a few years ago when I was back visiting, and then Ben had me do a Zoom call during the COVID situation with his team. And so, I don't know the girls at all, but I connected with them at least. So not only all my 11 years of being at Carmel as a coach am I connected to the place, but I've had some connections with some of the teams through the years as well. And so happy to hear that. But I got to thinking about this. So I got this email yesterday. I connected with Ben today. He's connected with me. We're going to talk tonight about it because I haven't gotten to talk to him about it. But I got to thinking, was Ben a better coach the morning after, heck, an hour after they won that state championship, than he had been the week before when he had never won a state championship or guided a team to a state championship? Was he a better coach that day than he was 2 weeks before when they were trying to win a regional championship? Or 2 weeks before that while they were trying to win a conference, regular season crown? Now, hopefully, he got better every day. That's always one of the goals that I've always had for my teams. I imagine he does. I imagine most of you have. You want to be playing your best at the end of a season. And one of the goals is to get better every day so that every day, I look back and go, okay, I did this today to help me be better today than I was yesterday. We should do that in life. But I'm talking now more in general. Was he a better basketball coach, a better coach of young people an hour after that state championship than he had been 2 weeks before, a month before, 3 months before? Probably not appreciably. Just because he won a state championship, and I always struggle saying he won. Of course, his team won, but he's the coach, so he has that kind of moniker put on him. He guided his team to that championship. Just because he did that doesn't mean he was any better than he had been a few weeks before. And then I got to thinking about my friend Bob, who sent me the email to be the catalyst for this little video. Bob has never led a team to a state championship in wrestling. He had his first single state champion in wrestling about 3 or 4 years ago, I think. About 15 years ago, Bob was named the Illinois High School Wrestling Assistant Coach of the Year after about a 25 year run as an assistant coach in the program. Very deserving, I would imagine. But here's the other thing. Just because he won that award, did that make him a better coach? Was it only because he won that award that people would start to go, oh yeah, that guy must be a good coach? I would hope not. The impact and the influence that Bob has had on so many students, so many athletes through the years, and the success he's had in terms of creating champions in a variety of ways is huge. And so it leads me to the point of this is, are you a champion coach? Are you focused on being a champion coach or a championship coach? We all want to win a championship. I've always wanted to win championships. I'm like any of you. I'm competitive. I want to win. But I hope that we all continue to focus on the concept that we can be champions even when we don't win championships. Because to be a champion is so much more important. It's how you behave, how you handle yourself, how you treat others, how you work, all of the things that go into becoming the best you're capable of becoming. That's what a champion is. And so when it then leads to a championship, to me, that's the icing on the cake. I was fortunate enough to coach a couple of teams to regional championships and get to state tournaments, and that's always so gratifying. But I don't know that made me any better a coach than I was in the years when I wasn't able to lead a team to those types of promised lands. So keep this idea in mind. Are you focused on championships or are you focused on being a champion? Congratulations, Ben, on the championship, but I know you've been a champion for a whole lot longer than just this past year. We'll talk to you again next time.